Menteri rangba ka sarkar jelau Konrad Konggal sangma menta ka sengi ka khat khandai tarik ukala lungkot habakran sekilat phathai khubor hadin baladap ka jingalang jong ka kunhun ki menteri ka sarkar jilla ulai thu bana kaliang ka kunhun menteri jong ka sarkar Meghalaya kalamin juri ka Kaiphot jong ki Leit ki regional committee ban Pynbeit yu put usam hapadang ka jilla Assam bat Meghalaya bat ya kane ka Kaiphot na kaliang ki ar sarkar kata ka sarkar Meghalaya bat sarkar Assam Kin salira no Hakhmat jongka Ministry of Home Affairs jongka sarkar kami. Menteri rangba ulaya thuru baki ar menteri rangba kata jongka Meghalaya bat Assam lasai ka singi ka arpho tarik ukalla lungkot kin salai banya kendu no yu menteri ka kampo ying kari wa Amit Shah barhadin ka jingkaran bania bot menteri kampo ying jongka ri kin sa ay ka rai bakhadu. Ula ongru bayamenta ompatla ban batai ka Kaiphot jongki regional committee hanrai onsala ban pentip hadin baladap yakran bat ka Ministry of Home Affairs jongkari India. Shushu menteri rangba ula kantai ya ka Jing ong ba ya ka Jing Pynbeit yu put usam ka long da ka Jing shim ya ai ka ba markaliang ya ki jaka hapadang ka Meghalaya bat Assam hanrai ka Jing Pynbeit yu put usam kan long da ka ba sngap ka Jing sngo ba ka Jing kwa jong ki pai ba bat ki bayadan bentalang klem da penbor ki nong song snong ki basa sa Khappud menteri rangba ulo ongru ba ka sarkar India kan haban yai katkum ki kendon ki ain khamtam habai dei ba ka Jingbu dak yu put usam hapadang ki ar jilla namar ba kane ka dei ka kam ka ba hab banra hapo ka parliament bat ka laru bandon ka Jingwan jurep na ka Tanat Survey of India bat ki don hadu kumbal lai pen riu tili ki snong ki bahap hapo kin riu tili ki jaka belabu ban Pynbeit ningkong bat ka Jinghe jong ka jaka kalong kumbal lai pen riu point nyo phokundai square kilometer.
Friends, we had a very important cabinet meeting today, and in the cabinet meeting there were 5 agendas, but out of that we have only cleared 4 as of now, but very important agendas, as you are already aware. The first agenda was the recommendation of the 3 regional committees on the interstate boundary between Meghalaya and Assam. The cabinet today has approved the proposal or the recommendations that have been given by the committee, and these recommendations will now be forwarded along with the recommendations from the Assam government to MHA for further action. We will not share the committee report because, as I said, we have finalized, but we will be presenting this to MHA, and Assam also will be presenting it to MHA. And after we have the detailed discussion there, the Government of India and the MHA will have to come to a final conclusion. But more or less, the structure has been reached after a long drawn exercise between the 2 states. Without going into the maximum details of this, because we'll make it available to you after our meeting with the Honorable Home Minister, which will be tomorrow evening, post 6 o'clock, we'll be meeting the Honorable Home Minister. The important aspect is that we as state governments have felt very strongly that yes, apart from historical facts that are there, it is very important to keep the people's sentiments in mind. And therefore, the willingness of the people in specific areas has been one of the main driving forces or the principles on the basis of which we have reached to most of the conclusions in most of the areas. We have also seen ethnicity as something very important. Both the state governments have felt strongly that any state government may try to claim some areas, but the people living in those areas, if they don't wish to be with a particular state, one cannot force people to forcefully come into a particular state. So this has been the basic driving principle for us, and that's why we have gone down to the grassroots level, and the committees have meticulously gone and visited every single 36 villages which were under dispute or differences, in the 6 areas that were there. And after detailed visits to these 36 villages, we have finally come to an understanding where we have tried to follow these principles that I have just mentioned to you. Some aspect of the report, but I would refrain from going into details fully right now, and I will be giving the report to you and details to you once we finally come to a conclusion. I mean, we have come to a conclusion, but we would like to share it with MHA. But what is most important to remember and to note today is that it's really a very, very important day. And this very important issue, which has been there for the last 50 years, and was very difficult to move forward from all angles, that today, due to the efforts made by the different committees and the 2 state governments, we are actually finding and seeing a solution that's coming out, where we have consulted multiple stakeholders, we have had multiple meetings and multiple visits. And as I said, this is truly a very, very important and a historic moment where we are able to actually move forward and resolve some of the areas of differences that are there. So I'm sorry I'm not able to share the full details with you, but as I said, Assam has given some idea yesterday. It is more or less in that line, but we will be able to give you more details once I return from Delhi tomorrow late night. Thank you. So roughly, as I said, there were 36 villages that were there in the entire disputed area, and the square kilometers was 36.79 square kilometers of areas that were the differences.